Who delays telling Cohen about his mother's wishes? Irene forgets about her dinner date with John. Eden's attempts to patch things up with Jimmy explode. And it's album launch day, but Remy is missing in action.
My mum died when I was about 8. She was really sick. And then lost Dad shortly after that.
No, I haven't lost my mum. I just have to wait till she gets out of prison.
Yeah, that's true.
What happened to you and Felicity?
Oh, well, we didn't have anybody else, so a family friend just took us in. What about you, Cohen? You got any other family you can think of? You got a grandma, don't you? Yeah. Do you remember her name?
No.
Do you remember where she lived? Okay, how about this? Do you remember if she lived in a house or a unit?
A house. I had a yard.
Yeah? You know, I grew up on a farm.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Did you have animals?
Yeah, we had so many animals, mate. We used to have this little creek we used to swim in. It's great. What kind of stuff did you like to get up to when you were with your nan?
We used to go down to the river and we'd feed the ducks.
Yeah, was it a big river? Was it a little creek or...?
It was massive. There was a bridge with cars going across it. Nan used to tell me the river's name meant Clearwater.
We are Si and Sophie. This is Coastal News, a home and away podcast, your weekly episode companion podcast for your favourite Aussie soap.
Did you know, Soph, that Australia is wider than the moon?
I knew you were going to say that.
And so's my ass. How are you?
I'm good. How are you
Are you
doing?
just like spotting sound bites now and thinking Si's got to use that?
I knew that. I knew it. As soon as he said that, I actually said out loud in the room, I was like, Simon's going to say that to me on Friday. I just know it. Did you know Australia is as wide as the moon? I actually Googled it and apparently it is true because I was like, really? Like, I can't see it. Australia is deceptively massive, I think, is the...
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Having flown over it, we know. We're like, why aren't we there yet? We've been flying over Australia for 10 hours.
Another creek's coming on the map.
No, Yass. The Yass River.
Yes.
We kept seeing the same stuff. We saw Broken Hill as well on the map.
We did. Yeah. Got very excited.
We did. And then like 10 hours later, we arrived in Sydney. We're like, well, bloody hell, that was a long time.
If ye have gone to the Yass River, you've gone too far. Are you all right?
Oh, I'm delirious. How are you?
So 1 minute 24 seconds in.
Oh no,
it's begun. Yes, I'm good, thank you. How's home and away been? Got some thoughts.
I guess I haven't been watching it in a normal way this week. I've been watching it under a bit of stress, so I've been trying to. It's felt like a chore only because of the way I've had to watch it.
Right.
Because I've had to be like, shit, I need to cram this in tonight, or else I haven't got a pod.
Not got time to entertain it. Yeah.
Yeah. So I've not loved the way that I've had to watch it. I guess
in your pre-pod life, these episodes would wait till next week, wouldn't they?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, probably. I'd be in pre-pod life. There'd probably be an omnibus, you know. So
oh, that's how long ago that was.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
How about you? What
okay, I don't think there was enough Cohen for my liking, considering how good that was last week. I was expecting a little bit more from that, so I'm eager to see more of that. That felt like it didn't really go anywhere, so I'm expecting a big week next week on that, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Just a lot of things going on. There's a lot of plates spinning, but nothing really breaking. Do you know what I mean? It's felt like one of those weeks, you know, everyone's talking, but not really much is happening. And I mean, we'll get on to music at some point, but as you know, doesn't interest me. And I think storylines like that, when you look online and you're chatting to people and you're talking and watching it, you just start poking holes at it, don't you? Because you're like, don't like this, let's take the piss out of it. So
yeah, unfortunately.
So one of those. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on. There's some stuff I wanted to see more of, really. So yeah, interesting. And there's stuff kicking off, and I've been saying that for a couple of weeks now. So I'm getting a bit itchy wants things to sort of kick on a bit. So
Yeah.
we must mention this weekend is the Logies, and of course we've got the legend that is Lynn McGranger, Linny for the Winnie, up for silver and gold. Still don't know what it means, but it sounds good. So we'll be watching from afar. Good luck, Lynn. And also, Lynn's been getting loads of press about this, but Hayley really hasn't. So Hayley Pinto is up for newcomer. So yeah, Hayley, good luck as well. And just to quickly mention before we get into the action on this week's show, so other than the Logies, you obviously that'll be happening. We'll celebrate that online, but also you can vote for us as a podcast, and we've been asking you to on our social media at the British Podcast Awards, People Choice. It'd be really good to even get anywhere near some sort of long list. Link is on our social media, isn't it? So, and you can click it and nominate us. I think you have to verify your email. You don't have to sign up any more than that. And it'll give us a chance. It's really good if you're a little independent pod like ourselves, got a little bit of exposure from it. And we would be eternally grateful. Let us know if you do nominate as well, because we'd love to thank you. So do let us know. All the links on our social media pages. Right, should we talk about home and away?
Yes.
Lacey is really trying hard at work now this week after the whole can't surf shebackle the week before. Marley is impressed, actually. But I think she has forgotten that her sister's walking around the bay. You know, her aunt, she can't stand her. And she meets Theo, actually. It's all a bit confusing, isn't it? Because she tells him, look, she's been bad-mouthing me as my sister. And, she's telling you that it was me who's responsible for the accident that we don't yet know any more about. And it's not true. I need your help, Theo, to heal my family, other words. I think she spotted Theo as a chance to sort of break down that barrier that Lacey has for her. He's very reluctant at first because I think he's seen what Lacey's red fire blood is like, and her temper, etc. He's doesn't want to get involved. It's early days for their relationship at the end of the day, and if it's family drama that's as messy as that, you can't really blame him.
No.
But he does mention it to Lacey, doesn't he, that they've had this conversation, he and Joe. She goes mad. Stay away from me, stay away from my boyfriend. So we've still got this feud rumbling on with the Langhams. And we're no further forward, really, about what happened with Mum, who is right and who is wrong. Anything changed for you this week watching these scenes? Are we starting to thaw with Joe for you yet, Sophie, or do you think Lacey's over egging it?
I really don't know what to make of it, to be honest, because, like you say, until it kicks up a notch and we actually find out some more information. I mean, it sounds like Joe doesn't remember the accident, so I think she's a dead end in terms of finding out any more information, unless her memory suddenly returns. But I think Dad possibly knows more than he's letting on. But I don't know how we crack him.
How we get there? Yeah,
he's very keeping his cards close to his chest, isn't he? And he's very, sort of put together compared to the girls. The girls are obviously very emotional, fighting with each other, physically fighting, not just like yelling at each other. But he's very composed. He's he's a copper, so you Sarge, he would be. So unless something chinks his armor and exposes him and his secrets and what he knows, I don't know how we're going to push this along, really.
Do you know what I think it might be? And I would love to see it's Cash that finds something out, because there's a sort of they've butted heads, haven't they, at work? And if it's Cash that sort of starts to dig on the old super duper police computer and starts asking questions, I wonder that could be a little bit more interesting on that front.
Although they've made up a little bit, haven't they? Because he came round and brought in them beers because he's got that chip on his shoulder about Cash, and Harper noticed it, so she was like, oh, he's been in the care system, etc. So then Sarge was kind of like, oh, okay, I'll, fair enough, I'll back off a bit. So he took him them beers around like a peace offering, didn't he? So I don't know whether that may be means that now he's off Cash's radar a bit. I don't know.
Could be, but
Don't
yeah,
know.
a bit, yeah, yeah. Or is it like that typical soap trope where you think they've made up and then something happens? I don't
something
know.
happens.
Could
Yeah.
be, yeah.
I don't know how
But we
this
do need
storyline's going to get
something.
kicked on.
Mm,
It's difficult to guess. I can't predict where we're going. If we are going to find out the truth, whatever the truth is, I can't work out how we're going to get there. Can you?
yeah, between the memory and something happening with the Sarge, maybe. Lacey's already said he's not as goody two shoes as he makes out, not by the book as he makes out.
Yeah.
So something's going to have to crack for everything to then start flowing. But like you say, I'm ready for it already. Like I'm a bit like, okay, we're sort of 2 or 3 weeks in now. The sisters arguing, get it. The message has been got.
Yeah.
Now what? You know.
I guess
it'll be very interesting.
My fear is that we're going to still be here in a year's time, like we are with Eden and Dad.
Well, yeah, this is it. Yeah, and that's a legitimate fear to have, given other things going on elsewhere. But yeah, you're right. You're right to think it. Let's keep our eyes and ears closed. I'm interested in it. I was really excited about the story. But as I said at the beginning of the episode, no, it's not moving. It's not moving enough for me. Rue is showing Cohen's letter to Harper this week. You remember Cohen's written that letter, hasn't he, to his mum. Unbeknownst to him, she doesn't want anything to do with him. We don't know whether that's for his own good or whether it's like, neglectful. We don't really know, do we, the story? We just have to draw an inference. She doesn't know what to do with it, does she? How does she tell him, she says? How do I tell a boy that his mum doesn't want him? And Harper's like, well, maybe wait till you have some good news, like, you've found some family. But no one's really that hopeful, are they? Sarge doesn't have much to go on. There's a grandma in Canberra, and that's all he knows. He's making calls. He's not really getting anywhere. Cash goes over to Summer Bay this week, Summer Bay House, I should say, to see how he's settling in, and he shares his experience, quite a vulnerable experience, of him being in the foster system too. I did like that, when Rue sort of welcomed him into the house, and he's she's like, "What are you doing here?" And he's like, "I've come to see how he's getting on." And all it was a bit of like a nod. It was an unverbal. Rue understood the mission straight away. I loved that moment. I really did. And again, it's these little things that are helping me with Rue. These little tiny things. Now, Cash says to him, how he grew up. It was really sweet, wasn't it? He lived on this farm. And out of that, he's able to get more information, more useful and helpful information, isn't he?
Yeah.
And it turns out it's not Canberra at all. Not Canberra, down New South Wales. Down the road, love. Yeah, it's in the creek. Someone's up the creek, I should say. Now, Cash obviously reports this back, goes down like a lead balloon, because you have to remember this is a Sarge who's now undermined by someone who used to have his job. Do you know what I mean? And there's a bit of friction, as you say, does get smoothed over. But it's little things like that I'm keeping one eye on as well. Now, Rue does ultimately lie about posting this letter. What do you make of that? Do you think that's the right call?
No, because I don't really know why she couldn't post it. I don't really understand why she... I know his mum has said she doesn't want anything to do with him and blah, 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 blah. But what's going to happen if she just posts it to her and she gets it and she just throws it away?
I was thinking this.
I don't really get it.
Wouldn't you rather have to say to Cohen, I've not had a letter back off your mum yet, rather than have to try and explain why you didn't post it?
And where she put it? Like, is he going to find it in a drawer or a handbag? Like, is it in her handbag or her pocket? She was in her pocket in the diner the other day, and I thought, if that falls out on the beach while you're sitting reading the book with him, that's going to be awkward. I don't really get this at all.
No. All she has to do is send it, and like her conscience is clear. Then she gains his trust. He is obviously correct me if I'm wrong. It's in the top drawer at the minute. in the living room, isn't it? He's going to find it. That's a plot point. He's going to find it, and then he's not going to trust Rue. And Rue's going to have yet another issue on her hands where she's got a second foster child, out of two, might say, where she's at loggerheads with them and she's not been quite honest with them.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of things feel better with this compared to the Eliza placement, but I think it's mainly because of Cohen and his personality, not because of anything Rue's doing different. Would I be wrong there?
I think you're right. I think Rue's not actually doing anything differently, because even tonight's episode, or Friday night's episode, she says to him, what do you want to do today? And he goes, oh, can we go to the library? Like, she said, oh, you can do whatever you want. Come up with something that you want to do and we'll do it. And he goes, oh, can we go to the library? And she goes, nah, we'll do something better than that. And I was like, you asked him to tell you what he wants to do. He told you what he wants to do and you've just ignored it. I get that she's thought, actually, I can improve that and I can do something better than that. And I get that. That's really sweet. But the message she's sending to him is, no, your ideas are not as good as mine.
Yeah.
So that made me feel she could have done both, She could have taken him to the library and then said, oh, and now let's do my thing.
Yeah. They ended up buying books, didn't they? I wonder if it was her thinking what might have been, because he shared quite candidly, didn't he, that he used to go to the library to keep warm and read.
Yeah.
And I wonder if she's trying to think, let's do something that's a bit more, a bit like that. That's a bad memory to have. But actually, for him, they're some of his best.
Yeah.
It's difficult, isn't it? Is she capable of putting herself in the shoes? I'm not sure she is.
I don't think she is. And I think in that circumstance, I'd have said, yeah, great idea. Let's do it. And give him a bit of a, she said, come up with something yourself and we'll do it. And I thought, that's great. Put the ball in his court and then follow through with whatever action he comes up with. He could have said, let's go and do something ridiculous. And she should have just gone along with it. It was his decision. And then she kind of went, no, that's no good. Let's do something else. And yes, her idea was better, but I just don't like the way that she kind of railroaded over his choice. That made me uncomfortable, I'll be honest. But I do like you can't help but compare it to Eliza, let's be honest.
I know. Yeah.
I do like the kind of symmetry and the differences we're seeing. So, obviously, when Eliza was staying there and Cash turned up in his uniform, she absolutely went insane because her kind of experience of coppers was when her grandma died and they dragged her away from the body, and that's obviously really traumatic. And then Cohen's last experience we saw with coppers was when his mum got arrested in front of him last week. So I was expecting a kind of similar reaction from a copper turning up to his house, in uniform, and it would look a bit scary to a child. But actually,
definitely.
His reaction when Cash explained why he was there was different to Eliza's reaction. So, it's hard not to make those comparisons because we're sort of seeing the same scenes played out.
No, you raise a really good point there. And that something like that could be easily overlooked by a majority of the audience.
Yeah.
It's played out pretty identical, but we have a completely different outcome. And it's fascinating from an analytical point of view to see the contrast between the two placements.
Yeah. And like you say, it's the child that's the difference. It's not Rue.
It's not necessarily anything Rue's doing different. You're right. Although everything she does is good intention.
Oh, yeah.
She's got a lot of growth to do when it comes to this. Just post a letter. You'd win so many brownie points from us, girl.
I think I'd let him do it. I would have put him in charge of posting it and said, right, this is the address and this is what we're going to do and this is the letterbox and what have you. In fact, I thought, because when we were in Palm Beach last year, there was a post box. Do you remember?
That's right, yeah.
There was a random red post box outside the surf club. And I said to you, when did that get here? And I think one of the tour guides said, oh, that's just occurred recently. And then I was doing the maths in my head. And I was like, oh, these scenes would have been filmed around the time of or after the post box that we saw was there. So I thought maybe they took Cohen to post the letter.
Makes sense.
And we'd seen him post the letter to Mum. That's what I was expecting. And then it never happened. And I was like, oh, that's that theory out the window.
Yeah, no, that would have made a... Do you know what? I didn't even join those dots. Well done.
I remember everything.
Not the first time.
I remember everything that's not important. I don't know what I did yesterday,
Yeah, really good point. And then, do you know what? He knows it's gone. You know it's not coming back. Why be the bad guy? She's going to be bad guy
Yeah. He's
when
going
he
to find
finds
that
that
letter.
letter. Yeah, of course he is.
She's
And then she's going
daft.
to, she's going to look terrible.
Mm.
Right, John and Irene are heading out for dinner together this week, or are they? Because Irene's nervous because it's her first meal out since rehab. She's got to be in a bar around the grog and everything. She does talk to Maz about it, doesn't she? Who tells her, "Look, go out, enjoy yourself, get on with the rest of your life, girl. You haven't thought about it. That's good. This is progress that you're even entertaining." Going out now, because it was only a couple of months back you couldn't go to a wedding for the same reason,
True,
not even a couple of months. So I was like, this is progress. Only she forgets about it, doesn't she? And she's flipping out about it. Now, it gets put down to having no sleep. She's exhausted. There's a baby in the house. Harper apologizes. Perfectly reasonable, rational explanations for just forgetting you've made an appointment with a friend. Won't be the first, won't be the last style. And as the episode unfolds, it turns out she actually really has no clue about any of it from beginning to end. She's not gone, oh crap, that slipped my mind. She doesn't remember making the arrangement. She doesn't remember making the booking. Doesn't remember receiving a text message confirming it. Nothing. The whole kit and caboodle's gone, hasn't it, from her mind, which was a little bit alarming at that point. Maz is like, do you not want to, did you forget and think, was it the alcohol? And Irene sort of like, yeah, that'll be it. That'll do it. That'll be it. Now, can see right through me, she says. However, next day, because John's a bit upset that he's been stood up and comes in and he's all concerned, actually, isn't he? John being one of Irene's closest friends. They're all chit-chatting about how strange it was that Irene forgot. She's overhearing, isn't she? And she snaps, walks out. John follows her and they go on a lovely walk and talk. Love a walk and talk. And she opens up to him and saying, look, I did forget. It wasn't the baby. It wasn't that I was nervous about being around the grog. I did forget about it, and I'm quite worried because of the other night as well. At home, I'm forgetting things. I woke up in the night. I found myself in the garden in my nightie. No idea how I got there. This is all sounding quite worrying. And John tells her to go to the doctors. That's not right. And she's a bit defensive, and you would be. Right? She's a bit defensive. I told you so that you'd reassure me, not just freak me out. So, elephant in the room is we know that this is a big emotive story that Irene is undergoing in preparation for her exits. Seems like we're now starting said story. What's your first gut feelings? What's your reaction to this starting?
It's not filling me with good feelings. I'll be honest. It's making me feel a bit sad because I'm thinking now this storyline sounds kind of tragic, doesn't it, from the start? If this is if this is part of the exit storyline, we don't know. Let's be honest, we don't know what the exit storyline is.
Yeah.
But if this is the start of it, I mean, my brain's all over the place with the information that we've been given is that she's forgetful. And then she's having like memory lapses where she can't remember going to the garden. She's woken, or maybe she slept walk to the garden, or maybe she went to the garden but she doesn't remember going to the garden and all that kind of stuff. So I'm kind of thinking, well, at this time, because we don't know anything, what would I rationally kind of imagine this could be? And some of the stuff that I'm thinking of isn't good, and it's making me scared.
Yeah. I mean, my mind goes alcohol related.
Yeah. I mean, it could be alcohol. It could be, I mean, if she's just come out of rehab, she could be on medication that she was, for withdrawals, or I don't know. I've never been to rehab, but I imagine you don't just get thrown out and that's it. I imagine you have to go through some kind of withdrawal, and then the withdrawal side effects might mean that you need medication. It could be thyroid issue, it could be hormonal, there's loads of reasons why, and lack of sleep does make you do weird stuff. So it could just be the baby. There's a myriad of reasons why She could be doing. I mean, she could be getting abducted by aliens and then being left in the garden after they've brought her back. I've got no idea. Like,
We'll put a pin in that for your sake. Come back to that.
Let's see what happens. I don't know. I mean, none of it sounds good, to be honest.
No, it doesn't. And I mean, she even left the iron on, so there's like it's still later in the week when we revisit her. She's gone out all day, left the iron on, and it's now injured Dana.
I've done that, and you know what I mean. I've left my straighteners on all day, and then back in the day when straighteners came out and they didn't automatically switched off, and I've left candles burning all night because I forgot to blow them out. You know, like you do stuff.
I know. You wake up and you go, bloody hell, I didn't lock the bloody door.
Yeah, I've done that.
Yeah. You know, I think everyone's reaction seems really extreme. You know, I'm thinking we've all done stuff like this.
Yeah.
I guess
her history, you know, there's certain conclusions that are more obvious to jump to because she's an alcoholic, you know?
Yeah, I agree. A lot of people, it's out there, isn't there? Because it's Ozpace. We must sort of caveat it is out there. We're not spoiling things for anybody, let alone ourselves. Unfortunately, we have seen a few things, haven't we? Which doesn't help us at all. I don't, in the slightest. In fact, quite the opposite. But yeah, where we're at in the storyline, it could be a myriad of things. John's advice is probably the best advice if she's worried. She's an elder lady. You know, if you're worried, go and tell the doctor. They might be able to put your mind at rest better than I can. And I thought that was great advice to give as a friend.
Yeah, definitely. The only thing I was confused. I don't know whether you were confused, this conversation. So, he says, oh, don't worry, people forget and it's not a big deal. And she says to him, well, I'm worried it is a big deal because this isn't the first time it's happened and this has happened to me before. So at first she sounds really concerned and she explains it to him. And then when he sounds really concerned and tells her to go to the doctor, she flips out and says, oh, I thought you were going to reassure me. But I was a bit confused at that point because she said, oh, I'm concerned.
Yeah.
And then when he agreed, she went mad. And I was like, oh, that was unexpected, that reaction.
Maybe it was the confirmation she needed but didn't want.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
She was open. He wouldn't really confirm it was to worry about. I mean, your besties do cop it, don't they? Sometimes.
You know this.
It is that because they see you're comfortable enough to react naturally.
Yes.
So she probably was worried, but then was like, "Oh shit, I should be worried then," because he made him worried.
Yeah.
I don't know.
True. Yeah, you're
but
right.
I've already found myself choking up,
I know.
and nothing's happened. Nothing's happened. We don't know anything. And this week, it's John. John's going to get me. I can feel it.
Yeah.
And I'm struggling with why we're here and why this is the choice. I'll say.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I agree with this.
No, but then I was thinking. I mean, we've spoken about this off air, haven't we? And we've said if it is the exit storyline is something like this, like serious, medical, possibly, I don't know, something, something quite tragic or whatever. I was saying to you, I don't want this as a fan. I don't want this. Because Irene's life has been so tragic. Since we've known her, there's been thing after thing happened to her, and the minute she gets some happiness, it's always snatched away from her immediately.
Yeah.
So she has been this really sort of tragic character for years, and it would have been nice to see her go off and do something that wasn't tragic. At the end.
Yeah.
And from a fan point of view, I think that would have been like the kind of the closure that we needed for her. But then from Lynn's point of view, because we know that Lynn's had some input in her leaving storyline, because she's been on record in interviews saying that she's been working with the writers and she's happy with the ending that she's ended up with.
Yeah.
I said to you, actually, as an actress, the happy ending going off into the sunset thing must be really boring to act.
Yeah, it's true.
And something more dramatic as an ending, which is in her wheelhouse because she's been doing it the entire time she's been on the show. it's actually more interesting for her to portray, and then it might delve into, you know, storylines that she's not done yet on the show. So, you know, another string to her bow, another storyline to portray that's not just a skip off into the sunset thing, which I imagine is probably quite boring to do.
Yeah, you're right, and I get that, and what a damp ending to such an iconic character, you know.
It's so sad. Like I was really worried that it was going to be the alcohol story, you know, that she was just going to relapse, and you know. And then I said to you, didn't I?
That's still a possibility. So let's face it.
I mean, that's what I said to you. I was like, she could relapse, and then she's entered the show as an alcoholic, and she's left the show as an alcoholic. So actually, she's just gone nowhere. Yeah. You know, she's not actually.
Yeah. 34 years and you're back where you started.
Yeah, square one again, and that was my other fear. So yeah, I don't know.
There's so many questions as well, like where's a family play into it? Yeah, so we're in for a rocky time, I think, with this, and I'm already holding it back, and we're what, 3 episodes past something happening. It's escalated that quickly. I don't know how I'm going to be able to do a pod about it, to be honest.
I know it is sad, but yeah.
I'll tell you what else is sad. Not speaking to your father. And Eden's invited him to visit in the hope of patching it up.
That's Hollyoaks style.
Everyone's invited to lunch. Half the bay's coming to avoid it all. One big happy family. And he does the old dirty den, doesn't he? Hello, sweetheart. I thought, is this East End or East Bay? Eden calls him Jimmy, not Dad. Did you clock that?
I did, yeah.
When she's introducing him. And I thought, have you got him here to sort it out, or have you got him here to have a go? Getting really cheesed off at the beginning already. If you're not going to call him Dad and you're not ready for that yet, I mean, and you not being ready for that is a whole other debate that we've had many times, and childish and all that business, and not getting past stuff. But here we are. Let's accept it. You got him there already not wanting to engage, and I felt like that was stupid. She runs off and hides in the room. She's not calling him Dad. You know, are you trying or are you not? Do you know what I mean? She lost me very quickly here. She really did.
Yeah.
I did like that Marley was credited for fixing the Fowler family feud, though. That was quite funny.
Yeah, by opening his big gob. Yes.
Don't do a very good job fixing it, mind.
No. And then he ran away.
I know, and then literally out of town.
Ditched.
Some of he was saying some things that was obviously not very sensitive, knowing that it would trigger Eden. You know, he was sort of saying how he's not been together with his kids all this time, and obviously she's going to take that as it being her fault. You know, there was a few things I felt like he could have been more sensible about. She ends up over the road, doesn't she, screaming at Cash, saying, I'm not speaking to him, telling him to go away. And Jimmy digs his heels in, doesn't he, and says, I'm going over there, we're going to sort this out. But it does ultimately, after a massive row, end up saying, I can see this is not going to happen. I don't want to upset you anymore. And Jimmy says, I'm going to go. I'll be out of your life. That's it. And off he goes. Did we believe that was going to be it? That she was going to run after him? Or what was your...
I don't know. I think up until that point, I was just getting really fed up with it. Like you, I was like... I don't know. I feel like she sabotaged the whole day because of the fact that she realised that she's going to be on her own with him. You know, because Cash said something like, I'm going to be over the road if you need me. I've got the day off. I can come over, you know, if you need me. Like he was expecting her to meet with her dad one-to-one and have a conversation and clear the air. And then she realised that she was going to have to do that. So then she came up with this whole barbecue thing, you know, to try. And I was like, she's doing this because she doesn't want, she's just realised she's going to have to speak to him. And she doesn't want that. So why is she bothering to invite him if she's not ready? Tell him, actually, I'm not ready. Like, don't come. Because if I can't sit and talk to you, then what's the point of this? So I was already getting annoyed because she was using everybody else as a buffer. So she was kind of like, I'm in the same space as him. but I don't want to talk to him. And I was just thinking, this is a massive waste of time. What you need to do is actually have a chat, and not, because they were trying to run before they could walk. They were trying to have a nice family day, family barbecue with all the chit chat and all the banter. You can't have that from cold. You can't. You have to have the conversation first, and you have to have the difficult bit first. And she was avoiding that. So at this point, I was getting annoyed, and I was like, the reason why this hasn't worked is because you've gone about it all wrong.
Yeah.
So when he said, I'm not going until we've talked about it, etc., I was like, oh, here we go. Like, I don't think I've got the energy for this.
I did the same. I literally inhaled so deep. I was like, here we go.
I know. But then what he said and what he did, and the fact that he said his piece, and he said, right, I love you. I'll never stop loving you. But I'm going to go because I'm accepting that you don't want me in your life. And I thought, at that point, fair enough, guy, because this must be breaking his heart. And it must be awful for any parent to hear that their kid doesn't want anything to do with them or whatever. But he's took it on the chin, and he's respected her, even though she's been an absolute brat. He's respected her and her boundaries and said, right, I'll do what you want. I tried. I came here because you called me. It's not worked. I get it. I'll leave you alone. I'm going to go now. And actually, I was quite pleased with how that ended. But in my mind, I was like, as if she's going to let him walk out after that speech. Like, you couldn't, could you?
No. And obviously, just in the nick of time.
Yes.
Dad.
But then it's still a bit unresolved, isn't it? Because obviously she showed her, I think what that was she showed her weakness. Her weakness is, she does want a relationship with her dad. She's just still struggling, and she doesn't know. She's crap at talking about emotions, and she's crap.
And she's stubborn as.
So is he, apparently. Because he says something like, you got that from me, didn't you? Like, yeah. So
do you know what I liked about he got points from me because he sort of held his hand up and was like, I'm glad to see you guys haven't made mistakes I did.
Yeah.
Like he's acknowledged that he's made mistakes in his life. He's older now. He's patched it up with the ex-wife. Come on, girl.
Yeah.
Like, it's ancient history.
Yeah.
I've got some spoiler alert for listeners. I'm in charge of your say this week. I've got some comments for you because we're not the only ones who have fallen this way. And generally that tells me the writing was skewed to make you do that.
Yes.
So, we're supposed to have this alien, this Jimmy, come in, and we're supposed to side with him because that makes us realise how pathetic Eden's being, and in turn eventually she'll get there. It's just painful to get through.
It was.
You're just thinking you're not 16, 15 years old. It's a different lifetime now. You're much older.
Yeah. And I think that's
how long are you going to punish him?
That's the elephant in the room, is the ages, I think, as well. Yeah. Because he gave her that necklace. When she sort of said, Dad, don't go. Yeah. And he said, well, you were supposed to get this necklace on your 18th birthday, because you're the eldest, and it was your great-grandfather bought it, and he gave it to your grandma, and then you were supposed to have it because you're the next girl, born, etc. You're supposed to have it when you're 18. Now, she's supposed to have it when she was 18, and they've been apart for 10 years, so she can't be any older than 28. And I'm sorry, but I don't believe that she's early 20s.
No.
I believe that Abigail is.
Yeah.
But Eden looks... If Abigail was acting like Eden, I'd hate it, obviously, but I'd kind of get it, because I'd be like, yeah, she's younger, she's naive, and she's not...
She's the youngest, yeah.
But Eden's a grown woman. It's hard for my brain to look at her and think, oh, she's a kid. I can't. It's weird.
No, it is weird. She's closer to my age, and I think about myself in her shoes, and I just think I would never, ever, ever behave like this. I'd never think like this. I'd just be like, that's ancient history, and it's not my marriage. So I'm alive, and I've thrived, and and I've got relationships, and I want to focus on them. You know what I mean? You can think your dad's a prick if you want forever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But this is silly, so silly. And I think she's losing everybody if she hasn't already with it.
Yeah.
Right. Dana is avoiding Joe this week after she got a job. Now, last week we called Dana out of character, didn't we? She was quite underhand last week, and I don't know whether she came out of that dark light that much this week.
No.
And Sonny's like, focus on me. Her and Sonny, I mean, every time they're on a scene together, it's just so good. However, when she does run into her, this is Jo, she's a bit awful to her and says, look, you cried in your interview, that's why you got the job. Brie calls her out right away on the bullshit, doesn't she? Tells her to drop the attitude, which I did quite like, because I don't think Sonny's in quite the position to do it.
No.
Doesn't work though, because she goes and speaks to Levi, wants feedback, doesn't she? What did she do wrong? What could she change? Maybe she should have cried too. This side of Dana, I mean, she does apologise later in the week, doesn't she?
Yeah.
And Joe's not having a bar of it, and I can't blame Joe. And I'm president of Dana Fan Club, but Joe, complaint received, accepted, and upheld. I'll allow you to be cross with Dana, because I think you need to call something when it's deserved, don't you?
Yes. Yeah. And also, I think because Dana's been hot and cold with her, because the first time she ran into her...
Besties?
Yeah, like the first time she ran into her, Sonny said, play nice. And she went, I'm always nice. And he was like, yeah, all right then. And then she said to Joe, didn't she? Said, oh, congratulations on the job in front of Brie. And then not an hour later, she's saying, oh, maybe I should have cried as well. I'll leave you to it. Here's a napkin, back to being bitchy again. And I thought, do you know what? I can't blame Joe for not being enthusiastic about her apology, because for all she knows, in 5 minutes' time, she's going to throw it back in her face again.
I know,
she's
exactly.
So hot and cold.
And anyway, she doesn't have to accept it.
No.
And as an audience member, it wasn't funny. Sometimes you can laugh these things off, can't you? It wasn't funny. And if I was in Joe's shoes, I wouldn't want to accept it either, because it was a bit nasty.
And also, she doesn't know the reason why she cried.
This is it. It's a very personal thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
And also, when you're a nurse as well, your professional integrity is pretty important to you.
Yes.
And that's what she was calling out. She got that job on merit and nothing else. So yeah. No bueno, as they say in these parts. So yeah, Dana's. I think she'll try the apology again, and I think on a better day, if she catches Joe on a better day when she's not sister feuding, it might work. But I think she deserves a bit of sweating.
Yes, leave her to sweat a bit. I mean, if Dana was smart, I think Sonny's been really good this week, actually, again. So he was saying, like, do what I told you to do. You didn't get the job because you're not qualified. And if nobody else was going for it, she would have got it, because there was no other candidate. And she has got good qualities, and she is a good nurse, and she could learn on the job. But the fact of the matter is, somebody better qualified got the job instead of her. So he was saying, well, what's the difference between you and Joe? You just don't know stuff that she knows. You haven't got the experience. So why don't you bridge the gap? Why don't you learn? Why don't you go on courses, etc.? If Dana was smart and not petty, she could say to Joe, look, I'd really like to do the job that you're doing one day, and next time an opportunity comes up, I'd like to go for it, and I'd like to be more prepared and not just rely on my charm to get through the interview, but actually be able to answer the questions, etc. I would be asking her to, could you, could we spend some time together at work, or could I follow you? Could I come in on my day off and you sort of show me the ropes, or, could I take you out for a lunch and you can talk me through X, Y, and Z? That kind of thing.
And how good would that look to Levi that she's shown that initiative?
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and then they get to be friends as well, because you've made a friend who's a colleague, and then Joe gets somebody other than her dad to talk to.
Yeah. I think we're lying it out eventually, but I like that. I think you're right. I think that's the correct approach, and maybe she'll get there when she's less hurt. But she's really let herself down a bit. And do you know what? We can all do it, can't we? Let yourselves down every now and then when you want something really bad. But Sonny is an absolute godsend.
Yes. Not
just for her, but also like for Remy this week. I
He's
mean,
been
my God.
such a good friend this week, bless him.
Yeah. And he's really taking it from all angles, isn't he, this week? I
Mm.
mean, this whole launch thing, Justin's nervous as hell. Everywhere looks dead good. Bougie. Thank God Babylon's got all the fans there. If you know, you know. Because nobody knows where Remy is. The QR code's not working. The album's not finished. He's been MIA for days. Even Brie doesn't know where he is, and she's supposed to be his life partner. And she's not worried. She's got dolled up and gone out. And Sonny's sent to find him, isn't he, this week? Let alone he's got all this Dana stuff going on. He's sent to then mop up after Remy. Finds him with his little baggie, unconscious, passed out. Whacks him in a cold shower. Now, you and I have bonded over cold showers. So, you know.
Do we need to explain this?
We just like a cold shower.
We do, but it sounds like we've had one together.
Let's just keep them guessing.
There was that one night in Sydney. No, I'm only joking.
Yeah, that'll keep. They'll always wonder, and it'll keep them hooked on the pod. Let's keep a question mark over it. Yeah. So he's put him in the cold shower, sobered him up, got him there. We've managed to get the album on a USB stick. It's 2003. Who's used one of those in the last 15 years? I don't know. But that's how we're turning albums in these days, clearly. And it all goes off without a hitch. Kirby's being offered tours in Europe, yada, yada, yada. But Remy is having to take more drugs to get through the night. He's asking Avalon for more. Kirby's concerned, not Kirby, Sonny's concerned, and he's such a good, he covers for him, talks about fried hard disk or whatever, but then when he's pressed on it, still covers for him, gets a load of stick for it off him, and then he tries to get reassurance that he's not going to do it anymore. Don't know if he's buying it entirely, not sure. He says it's just for the pressure. This is the interesting thing about this music stuff, so to sit through it, had to get to this bit. Obviously this is going to spiral, right? Obviously. And Sonny's now part of the lie. I felt like he could have told Dana, but Dana's lips are looser than... Yeah.
I wouldn't trust her. I wouldn't trust her.
He had to open up about, because there was a bit of stuff about, is there something going on with you and Brie? Because, and he had to say, look, I did make a pass at her. But Dana handled that quite well, considering how disastrously she's handled everything else in her life these days. Yeah. So he was like you say, such a good boyfriend this week, such a good friend this week. This guy was sent from heaven, wasn't he?
I don't know what we would have done without Sonny this week, actually.
I know. He literally held half the cast together.
He did. He did. And I don't think anybody's really appreciating the fact that he is holding everyone up at the moment. So
no. Do you think if Avalon is as bad as we were surmising on last week's pod, she's in the bad crowd, does she have... We don't really know, do we, you and I, whether she's maybe got some other motives to being around him. Especially as she's learned he's got money, do we think Sonny might go a little bit Inspector Gadget around Avalon now if he suspects drug use, and he's going to be looking for it, let's face it. So every time Remy's had a bad night's sleep or is looking at, not listening properly, Sonny's going to be like, are you on coke?
I mean, the other thing is what is the drug that he's on? Is it speed? Like, is that supposed to keep you awake? I mean, I'm not really a drug expert, so I don't really know. It would help to know what the drug was, because then you could work out whether it's addictive and whatever. I don't know, because Sonny, obviously, he's found out about the drugs, but he doesn't yet know, as far as I'm aware, unless I've missed something, he doesn't know where the drugs have come from. He doesn't know why Remy's taken them, who's given them to him. Is he suspicious of Anaconda or Avalon or whatever her name is, like we are? Or, does he think Remy's got these off a street dealer? Like, he doesn't know. So I don't know whether he's suspicious of Avalon like we are. That would be interesting to find out if, because obviously she slipped him another baggie, and then she sent him a bag in a little card. Anyone could have opened that.
I know.
So I don't know. I don't know whether someone else is going to clock on that it's her that's driving this drug habit and her that sort of instigated it. I don't know. And also, is she sticking around? Because there was a conversation between Bree and Remy when Remy was explaining, Kirby's off to Europe and blah, blah, blah. And Bree said, do you think you'll get any more people wanting to, you to produce an album off the back of this? Because this is obviously done so well. And he said, oh, God, I hope not. Like, I've got enough going on at the moment. And she was like, oh, yeah, you need to finish Avalon's album because he's still supposed to be doing guitar on her album. So the fact that he's still got, and he said, yeah, we need to finish her album. I was like, so he's still going to be hanging around with this girl like this, just because Kirby's finished her album and done the launch and she's now going off to Europe. This Avalon girl seems to be sticking around.
Yeah.
Because he's still, promised to work on her album. So is this storyline going to continue? This isn't a one-off to get the album finished. This is going to continue as him and Avalon hanging out and him being under pressure, him taking drugs, her supplying him with drugs. What's her game? Like, what's she getting out of this?
What is the motive? Why?
Yeah.
I think we're about it. Once Kirby's out of the way and she's got him all to herself, I think we'll find out quite quickly.
But we thought Kirby was the motive to start with, didn't we? We thought it was a rival thing. Yeah,
because she's off. The only other thing is, do you know how she sent the gift? And the card to Kirby said, "A little birdie told me." And I'm thinking, who's little birdie? Is she pulling the strings? Is she instigated Kirby being offered this tour?
Well, I think so, because didn't she invite all those people to the thing and then...
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
So, is she getting Kirby out of the way? The only thing is the money for me. It's the only thing I think it could be. But she's supposed to be a successful pop star. She shouldn't need the money, surely.
But if she's putting the money up her nose or wherever, or in a gun...
Well, this is it. If she owes a big dealer in Mango River.
Mango River.
Yeah. She could be in a load of debt, couldn't she?
Yeah.
But trying to rationalise it could go either way. Something's off. I smell a rat. Something doesn't feel right about this. Right, Soph. It's time for your say on the bay.
Oh, my say?
Yeah, your say. No, not your say. No. You've had enough.
Oh, I have actually. Let someone else talk.
No, you know the drill. This is the part of the podcast where the listeners and followers of our good people out there in the yonder get to tell us your say, and we read them out. And you've lent me a shovel. Thank you so much. You've lent me a shovel, so I've been digging through social medias for you this week.
Oh, you're an angel. Thank you.
Yeah. We do try. Listen, I've got a lot for you, all right? If listeners don't know, every weeknight as the show airs on 5 Star at 6:30 p.m, we tweet along on Twitter, #HomeAndAwayUK. Our handle is @CoastalNewsPod. Come along, say hello, talk about the show with us as it airs. If you watch another time or anytime you like and you're just not on Twitter, you can get in touch and tell us what you think on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Threads, Blue Sky, YouTube, TikTok, you name it. And if you don't have any of the above, if that's too modern for you, send us an old-fashioned email at where are we? coastalnewspod@gmail.com. It'll get to us. Now we've had a few emails. In fact, don't send any more because mailbox is full. Return to sender.
Uh-oh.
This mailbox is full and not accepting any new emails.
Oh no! We've got to delete some stuff.
We've had a few. So, are you ready to dive in?
Yes.
So Emma, regular email. Thanks, Emma.
Hello.
You emailed last week, but you just missed us. We'd already recorded when we saw it, so I do apologise. But she sent another one update this week. She says, "Hi guys, I've just watched First Look Wednesday. Well, it looks like Marley is off for a few weeks, but who knows? Sometimes Marley goes to see his family for a few weeks, but he's back the next episode."
That's true.
Yeah.
Yes, he's done that before. He's gone for a few weeks and come back the next morning, hasn't he? That's a bit weird.
Timeline is askeweth.
It's very strange. I think even Abby said this week, "Are we in an alternative timeline?" I thought sometimes it feels like it abs.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah, the sun's set at least 3 times in this episode already.
How old is baby Archie exactly? Yeah.
At least 5, Dal.
Yeah.
Without sounding too much like John Palmer, she goes on to say, "Who's going to do the surf lessons? Who's going to be shaping the boards? Marley has an order. What's Lacey supposed to do in the shop with no lessons to book and boards to sell?"
Yeah. She's going to have to sell some merch, isn't she? She's going to have to sell some towels and shit.
Yeah, just stand there and look pretty, as we said was the reason she was employed last week.
Well, not just that, but I think she looks the part, and I think people will... I'll be honest, I'm not a surfer person, but if I was walking into the surf club and I saw Marley standing there looking like a slapped arse, I wouldn't talk to him. But if I saw Lacey, I would probably go and chat to her. And I'd probably end up buying some kind of board wax that I don't need for the board that I don't have. You know?
Well, there we go. You're a sucker. You're a sucker for a retail assistant.
I am. I am.
Also, why the heck didn't he just invite Abigail along for a weekend for a few days to meet his family?
With his sister's kids. Jesus.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
that's
that's true.
Oh no, that's a lot of commitment.
They've been going steady. I say going steady, going unsteady for a while now. He could have took her up to the Rents for a few days in Inkerdinkville, couldn't he? And had the grilling that Rose got. Well, no, I saw what happened to Rose, but yeah.
Yeah, but if you just started dating someone and he said he's got to go and look after his nephews and nieces, and would you like to tag along? I'd be like, no, darl, I'm going to go and do some adult stuff. I'll leave you to it.
I would, but I've got a pedi booked in Abbey Creek.
But I've got to stick pins in my eyes at 4, so I can't. Sorry, doll.
And I'm walking on a hot coals at 6. And it's you can't cancel last minute, doll. Anyway, as far as we know, we are having a screen break from Marley. Who knows, a trip to see his family, and he might come back all smiling and happy this time. I am sorry, but Eden is too much drama. Emma says her issues with her dad are very deep. Maybe it's more time for Fowler family therapy. I love that that's caught on. Also, did you notice during the episode when John and Irene were having their deep and meaningful chat, they were almost wearing identical his and her shirts?
I did notice that.
Set me off, Emma.
I did notice that. In fact, I think I've got a little picture for logo, possibly.
Oh, cute. Thanks for your email, Emma. As always, insightful. I will reply to you. Do not worry. Another email from Sam this week, Sophie. Hi, guys. A few weeks ago, you wanted our thoughts and ideas of where we'd like to see the show go. I know I sent some a while ago, but I've got a couple more. He's always thinking about the show, is Sam. Bit like us. I'd love to see Ben and Maggie Estoni return, he says. Things didn't go as planned in Italy. Maggie faces legal issues at the international school, and Ben never really settles. You've really thought about this, Sam. Maggie's offered a temp role at Summer Bay High, and Ben reconnects with the surf and the simple life and helps Marley with the board shop. Maybe Maggie could be a good foil for Rue again. That would give Maz space to get a new love interest, which I feel she needs. She just seems to help others with their storylines. A lot of people are saying this about Maz. I don't feel like that about Maz. Do you? I feel like Maz had a good couple of years there of like daughters she hid from secrets and thrown off the top of Crestview. And
she hasn't had her own storyline since the bomb thing, has she? What was it called? Stunning Organics. Yeah, it's been fairly quiet for her, but I think maybe that's a good thing, unless it's a happy story, because she, like you say, she's fallen off a building, or almost fallen off a building, and almost got blown up. So maybe she's just having a rest. Maybe.
Thoughts on the Estonis back from Italia?
I'll be honest, I am never a fan of bringing people back. I would rather move forward. So I'd have to think about that one. I don't know. I'll be honest. The fact that the rest of their family isn't there anymore makes me think, why would they come back? Apart from the fact they've got a house.
What's the
there.
reason? Yeah. The only thing I can think of is if the school is brought back, and she's sort of used to be the head, is sent back to re-establish it, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I mean, Ziggy's on the other side of the country now. She's likely to go there.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not a big one for. I like nostalgia in, in small doses. I like a cameo kind of thing. I like someone coming back for someone else's storyline that's on the show right now. I don't mind that kind of stuff.
Keep it moving.
Yeah, but on EastEnders where they're just bringing back all these people from years ago and then they're just here for no reason, and it's driving me mad because I'm like, I feel like I'm watching it in the past and I've moved on from that.
Yeah, something we've said, haven't we?
Yeah.
Because Home and Away is a bit of a shapeshifter show. Never really stays the same. Some people say that's bad, but you've got other shows for that. The other Aussie one, for example, was all about legacy this, legacy that, bring this back, bring that back.
Yeah.
We never really have that, so it does stick out. Perhaps we do need a bit more nods to it, though. But thanks for the whole story there. Love it. Love it, Sam.
I think the fact that the board shop is become a storyline and the fact that it's kind of stagnating under Marley's control, I can see where Sam's come to with that. But I would actually prefer it to be someone brand new that steps in and saves the board shop.
And saves the
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. I also think he goes on to say it would be really good to have a same-sex romantic storyline. Kirby and Avalon could be ideal candidates for this. Whilst the show is very inclusive with its diverse cast, it doesn't have LGBT presence. But that's typical of a coastal town, I know. But the entertainment industry is that diverse, and Avalon's whole thing could be about trying to pull Kirby after her realising, I like the ladies. This would actually be an interesting storyline for Kirby. Anywho, keep up the fantastic work. Uru! Thanks for your email, Sam. Interesting. Yeah, you're right. We've always dismissed the LGBT argument around Summer Bay as being, it's not a modern metropolis that it's set in. Not that that's an excuse. We wouldn't want it just to tick a box either.
No.
But the music industry, you're right. There probably is a lot of people from all sorts of walks of life in that. There is opportunity there. Do you think we've missed it?
Yeah, it's interesting. I'm not a fan of retconning characters. So if Kirby's come in and she's had a boyfriend, she's had what was his name? The original singer of Lyric, can't remember his name. Bob. So Bob and Theo, and as far as we know, she's into men. It would be, I don't know. Would it be weird if she suddenly decided she liked women? I don't know.
Depends how it's done, doesn't it?
I feel like it's a bit for the sake of it to get people interested.
Yeah, it needs to be organic, doesn't it?
It needs to be someone genuinely LGBT. I can't say the word. Blah, 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 you know what I mean? LGBTQ. It needs to be someone that's genuinely that from the outset, I think, for me to buy it, rather than, again, it just feels like when they do this on like other soaps, when they suddenly decide they're going to get two pretty girls to kiss and that makes all the boys watch it, it feels a bit, I don't know.
I understand. I hear you.
Bit cheap for me. I don't know. Hear you. I'd like to see it, definitely, but I'd like to see it genuinely, like Sunny and Dana, like a genuine, exciting relationship develop between two characters, rather than it just be for some sort of salacious thing,
I suppose the most recent example we have really is Will-X.
Yes,
which was hugely popular.
Yeah.
And that was an example because Willow, I don't know if it was explicit in her early days. She definitely had boyfriends, didn't she? But it didn't feel out of place for her.
No, it fitted with her character, I think. Whereas I don't think
she was a bit sort of
Kirby
game
with
for
a woman. I don't know.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah, I don't know.
Thanks for the email. Got another one. Got another one, Soph.
Yeah.
Jacob's back.
Yay!
Jacob's back
Welcome.
in the inbox. Hi, both, he says. And he literally got this interesting time earlier today. I appreciate your thoughts on the pod, but thank you for not contacting Mulder and Scully. Could have been kind or awkward, as I wasn't abducted by the little green men. Told you to put a pin in that. As requested, though, attaches a photo of Sergeant Langham and Joe together on Summer Bay Beach.
Oh.
You'll have to take my word for it. So sad that Irene's, quote, final major storyline seems to have started. Did anyone else get goosebumps when John walked in the diner looking for her? I'm really not going to like this one. Yes, Jacob, same. It's goosebumps, no. Lump in the throat, hell yes. So Remy has finally finished that damn album, and just in time, because it wasn't just the celebration cake that was moist. Kirby had just finished wetting herself by the turnout at Salt. When she realised the USB stick wasn't at the launch.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Oversight. Mm-hmm.
On a serious note, Remy should really leave the Coke alone because Pepsi Max is better. Tell us your thoughts. I'm liking young Cohen. He reminds me of a younger, more intelligent Andrew. Is he here to stay? For as long as a fostering placement would be, I suppose you'd have to adopt him if he's staying.
Yeah.
Another week passes, and another week the garage remains closed. Just saying. That's all for now, and it's almost 6, and I want to get this to you. Peace out. Thanks, Jacob. Busy old inbox this week. Busy old inbox.
Thanks for your emails, guys.
Keep them coming. Thank you. Right, I've been on Facebook with your shovel. Are you ready?
Oh, shit. Okay, go on then.
Don't worry, I'll put it through the dishwasher. Mine, not yours, because yours is broke.
I was going to say, not my dishwasher. My dishwasher is me at the minute.
Oh, you poor thing. It's our own fault for like literally joking about dishwashers last week.
And then it broke last night. I was like, this is my big mouth. So actually, in light of that, I'm going to win the Euro Millions tonight, right? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
well done.
yeah.
Manifest it. Manifest it. And then there's an Uber driver in Sydney that we owe a tenner to. First thing you pay off.
Oh, yeah. Might not be let back in, actually. Yeah.
Some posts about the Homeland UK Facebook page has been going a bit mad this week. Lots of posts about Kirby's launch, lots of behind the scenes videos and things, lots of stuff going on. And despite her being such a superstar, she can only afford half a jacket. Who'd have thunk it? But
where did that come from at last minute? Like, if you said to me, right, you need to go and meet some record producer, get dressed. Like, I don't know where I'd find a one-sleeved blazer.
I mean, 50% off. Must have been on sale. Somebody else has got the other half.
That's like when I used to wear ripped jeans around my nan and granddad's house, and they'd be like, "Were they cheaper because they've got less material in?" I'm like, "No, granddad."
Did you get money knocked off for them holes? So it's been a bit of a reaction in the comments to all this, you can imagine.
Go on then. Go on.
So David Hall says, how is a garage manager a music entrepreneur? Tell us, David. You tell us.
Yeah, don't know.
Lots of reaction to people's appearance at the awards, because everybody glammed up, didn't they?
Yeah.
Especially a certain individual.
Ooh.
Martin said, sorry, I know this might come across as a typical guy thing to say, but for anyone who has watched last night's episode, when I saw what Dana was wearing, my reaction was, hot damn. But then I was like...
What decade is he from?
But then I was like, should this be allowed to be shown at tea time?
Yes, that's true. Is she post watershed outfit? I don't know.
Was it quite that revealing? I'm not sure.
I thought she looked great. She looks amazing. They all did, actually. They all looked amazing.
They did. Staying with the theme, I've got another bloke. Mark, if her dress was a bit tighter, her things would have popped out, but she looked amazing.
Wow.
So many blokes watch, you just wouldn't know it.
Mm-hmm.
Jane replied, and she said, Martin, don't you watch it every day? Tiny bikinis all over the place. Mark pitches back in and says they live near a beach, so if she feels comfortable with what she's wearing, then that is no big deal to me, and it could be very hot.
What is Facebook on this week?
Don't know.
Wow. Everyone's on heat. Yes.
I know.
I thought we were bad.
Jane also scolds Mark for talking about things popping out and says, things? Not just a stupid comment, but a pointless apostrophe too.
Oh, has he put thing apostrophe S? Oh.
Yeah. As if
dear.
it owns it. Yeah.
Oh, dear.
And then he dismisses the apostrophe, saying he's keeping it PG. There we go.
He missed the point entirely. Right, okay.
Sheila's got a bit more to add, and she says...
Sheila?
Sheila?
Is she from Australia?
I don't know. Spelled weird.
Oh.
Dana is just so up herself and in everyone's business, but so is Harper. It must run in the family.
Well, I did make a similar comment last week that after her behaviour with Joe, I finally saw the relation between Harper and Dana. Because before that, I was like, one of them's got to be adopted because they're so dissimilar. But last week, I was like, they aren't that different, really, deep down.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's all going on in it. Jeanette says, also, Joe, I don't like her. She's up herself, actually. Just like her father. It's the way he speaks to Cash. No wonder her daughter has attitude. So everyone's up themselves on Facebook.
Joe, I hadn't got that impression of her. Do you think she's up herself?
No, I don't actually. I think she's in anguish. You know,
she's been attacked, hasn't she? Really?
Yeah. Up herself was not where I went with it. No,
defensive a bit, but I think because she's been attacked, she's being defensive, isn't she?
Yeah, this is it. Some comments on Facebook about Eden this week. Obviously, God. Eden's not got a lot of fans. Sue Carter says, moan, moan, moan. That's all she does. Not getting fans here. Kevin, though, back to the male species. I like Eden. I think she's great. Sexy.
Well, you can't disagree with that, I think.
All the blokes just go Kevin. Kevin, you and all the other blokes are in the same lane.
Sexy. I like the delivery of that. That was great.
Jackie Ann says, I hope Eden and her dad fix their problems. Eden is a super actor. Vivian replies, was it not the brother that invited him? Don't think it was.
Last year it was, but not this year. Yeah.
Carol's got some observations. She says, come on, folks, it's a soap. It's not real. She plays her part well. Great actress.
Yeah.
So there's a few people there with a bit more to add. Mandy says, do you know what? I absolutely love Home and Away, but it's all to do with the script writers. It is so not real.
Really? This stuff doesn't happen to you? Seriously?
You've never been organic phosphate poisoned, Mandy, through the aircon?
Blown up on the way to the dip? You never been kidnapped? You never been pushed off a cliff?
Never been kidnapped again?
You haven't got married and then ended up in a plane crash?
These blooming script writers don't know where to get it from.
You haven't been shot by someone who pretended to be blind?
Yeah.
Come on, these are daily occurrences. I don't know what you mean. Yeah.
Karen says, I'd find it so easy to ignore Eden's toddler behaviour. You must have good patience, Karen.
Wow.
And Mary concludes, Eden can be so childish. Yes, she can. Over on Twitter, as you know, every weeknight we tweet along, don't we? # Home and Away UK. More reaction to Dana's appearance over on Twitter this week. Victoria at Krankenwagen says Dana's got the girls out.
Oh,
Julie
dear.
Smith says Dana looks stunning. She did look good.
Yeah.
But why are we all talking about the chest?
It's hard to ignore the chest, to be honest. But she did look cracking. She did look really good. Yeah.
If you've got it.
Why not? If I had, I'd be wearing that dress as well.
Yeah, same. Bit of reaction to Eden as well. So Mr. David says she'd pick a fight with her own reflection, would Eden. See, feels like that nowadays, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Julie Smith also adds, well, Eden had her chance and now she's missed it. She's going to have to run after her dad now, and she looked desperate for a hug. Yeah. David adds, Cash must really love Eden to put up with all her crap. Yes,
I did think. In fact, I think I texted you that the same thoughts as that this week, didn't I? I said, God, Cash puts up with a lot. Just to put it out there, I am less high maintenance, Cash. If you ever, decide that you've had enough, there we go.
Loves a raspberry.
I love a bit of raspberry jam. Yeah.
All the berries, actually. Whatever. Berry me up.
Very low maintenance in the berry department.
We've reached the wall.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
That was the
sorry.
wall, and
sorry.
we've just fallen through it. Sam says, "Yeah, Eden, we get it. You come from a broken home, so do millions of others. Just be civil and grow up. I normally love you, but geez, you need a kick up the arse. #brat." It's pretty much where we.
Is anyone on her side that you've spotted?
No. Honestly,
is it unanimously just
unanimous? Honestly, there's nothing.
It's interesting.
You know me, I love a bit of balance. I'm a Libra.
Yeah.
Unrelated, but I used to have a top very similar to Eden's, says Victoria. Every time I wear it, I wish I still had mine. So I suppose that was kind of.
I wonder which top that was. Was that the green one? There was a really cool green top she wore this week that I really liked.
With a little mini skirt.
Yeah, that looked really good. I quite liked it. I love a bit of green. Yes.
Yeah. Thanks for your comments, everyone. Keep sending them in, coastalnewspod@gmail.com, #HomeNewsUK, or @CoastalNewsPod on all of the social media. Thank you so much for your contributions. We'll see you next time.
Please take the time to like, subscribe, and review Coastal News wherever you source your podcasts, and ensure you never miss an episode.